Ladies and gentlemen, permit me to welcome you to the Museum of Antiquities.
Death, they say, is sweeter than sleep and mightier than the young men of Argos.
All that is of the body is as a rushing stream.
Traveling southwest from Cairo, you cross the Nile.
All that is of the soul, dreams and vapors.
You come to the Great Pyramids at El Giza. On the horizon, a wall of sand, 200 meters high. You are on the easternmost edge of the Great Sahara.
Life is a warfare, a brief sojourn in an alien land, and after, oblivion.
Turning south, you come at last to a break in the desert cliff. Entering, you arrive in a vast circle of green. Olive trees, fields of barley, houses of sun-dried clay, a lake. You are in the oasis of Fayum. It is here that these people lived and died.
Paint me, my beloved. Paint her with dark plates. And if the wax can express it, paint too the scent of myrtle that surrounds her.
These ancient painters used beeswax, saturated with vegetable color in brilliant hues, and applied it to thin strips of wood, cedar, or cypress. As the wax cooled, it hardened, so the artist had to work very quickly. And this perhaps accounts for their extraordinary freshness.
Painter, you've caught the oddity just as she was. If only your art had failed you and given us forgetfulness instead.
These portraits are painted from life by local artisans using a limited repertory of forms. They seem almost artless in their execution. Yet the painters captured the essence of the human subjects in what, to me, are memorable works of art.
The portrait was hung in the subject's house, sometimes for many years, until the time of death. Then the body was mummified, and the portrait was placed over the face of the deceased, like a mask.
On your face, there was always a kind of shimmer, like ivory. A portrait of you I have as consolation. I entwine it with garlands, and when I come to you, dear wife, I will bring it with me.
A few of these people were quite wealthy, but most were of modest means. Small tradesmen, artisans, housewives, provincials living uneventful lives on the margins of the Roman Empire.
Origines to Serenus his brother, in the Fayum district. Greetings from Alexandria, I wanted to let you know that every day I sacrifice to the gods here on your behalf. Why not come and join us for a few days? There are many people from our village here. Brother, why haven't you answered my last letter?
Take 7 beetroot leaves and mix them in the purest olive oil. Climb up on the roof of the house of the one you desire, and facing the moon, recite 7 times. Vital fluid, olive oil and not olive oil, I release thee against my beloved. Seize her head, darken her eyes, inflame her heart, let her not eat or drink till she come to me.
My lord, yesterday there was a festival in our village. My son-in-law's slave, Epaphroditus, about 8 years old, leaning out from the top of the house to see the castanet dancers, fell and was killed. Please dispatch one of your assistants so that the body of the boy may be duly laid out and buried.
These people are mostly Greek. Some of them are Jews, some Syrians, a few Roman bureaucrats. They came after the conquest of Egypt by Alexander 5 centuries before. In other words, they were colonials, like so many others. But Egypt made them her own.
Queen of the gods, deathless Lady Isis, by your power the channels of the Nile are filled at harvest time.
The offering is barley and wheat.
Turbulent water flows.
By the 2nd century, they may still speak and write as Greeks, and dress as Greeks.
The offering is myrrh and linen.
But when they die as Egyptians.
The offering is life.
And on their final journey into the afterworld, they invoke the protection of the jackal-headed god Anubis.
I go in as a falcon. I go out as a phoenix. Morning star, make way that I may enter in peace into the goodly west.
I have taken the road to the sacred portals. I journey. I journey.
Who were we, and what have we become? Where are we headed, and from what place are we being redeemed?
The more I look at these images, the more ambiguous they become. There is a subtle tension at work here.
Noble Caesarius, you knew the stars and geometry and medicine, and yet you die.
The beautifully specific details of each face, the hair, the jewelry, the curve of a cheekbone, the modeling of an ear, are in marked contrast with the strikingly abstract rendering of the eyes, dark and overlarge, unfocused.
Happy are they who have shed the bonds of heavy earth.
This special treatment of the eyes and the placement of the head against a deliberately flat and featureless background becomes a way of separating these people from their earthly context.
Know that the soul is a stranger in this world.
The sense of being at home in the world, that fundamental confidence we associate with Rome at the height of its power, is vanishing.
Toward the end of the 2nd century, Italy, the heartland of the empire, was for the first time in centuries invaded by barbarians.
So, with imperious hand, fortune turns the wheel of change.
Oh, wretched woman that I am, who shall deliver me from the body of this death?
The empire is coming to an end.
The world numbs my senses. I wander in a country of empty dreams.
I long for the Lord of the winds, the Lord of fire, creator of the world, he who gives light to the sun. I seek for God himself, not for the works of God.
My thoughts are torn this way and that in the havoc of change.
And shall the earth seem all of paradise that we shall know?